So you want to invest in real estate, but you don't know where to start. Today we're going to show you how we took an undervalued property, redeveloped it, and put that into a $9,000 income producing asset. Let's go chat with my buddy Matt and show you how he did everything. Let's go.
We were over budget. Everything was like a homeless person lit this on fire. We didn't think it was gonna go good. It was fucked the whole time. But I made a bunch of money on it and it was fine, yeah.
This has been a long time coming. I'm stoked to just finally get this going. But I'm obviously here with Matt and Alicia. And congrats, guys. I'm so excited to see this whole project come from start to finish. And I want to give people a little bit some background of how you guys landed on this and how we got to here today, to this amazing asset you got that's going to pay you for years to come. So me and Matt actually had met a long time ago. I think maybe like the first time we really got buddies was on a ski trip a long time ago. Yeah. But what I loved is I sold Matt his first house, and he was working on the pipeline, I think, way up north at the time. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But, I've always been into cars. Matt had a sick car. He had a Sylvia, and I fucking loved it. I was so jealous of him. And he like phoned me one day. He's like, "I'm selling my car. I'm getting the house. Let's do it." And I was like, "Let's do it." So anyway, found the house. You've been there, and you realized some profits after a couple of years. You had the suite in there, so you already had a great start as kind of a real estate investment and landlord from there. But then you got into, hey, market's gone up, and I got some money. Like, okay, what else can I do with this? What's the next step? So maybe what kind of got you thinking on real estate in general, and why that was kind of the tool to kind of grow wealth and go forward from there, I guess.
Yeah, so basically I was, just thinking to myself, like, okay, well, I'm working for a living, and, I've got a house, I've got an income helper in the basement, and, it was at the time covering pretty much almost all the mortgage. And now here I am, it's just like, okay, I still gotta work. You know what I mean? I'm young and I'm like, this isn't it. Like, I still gotta work, right? Like, I'm getting money coming in. Everyone, you wanna go get this house and, have money coming in, but like, you still have to go to a job and whatnot. So I was just like, okay, I gotta start thinking like, what can we do? And at the time I just met Alicia, and we were kind of like, okay, maybe we could get a project house, something to fix up. So it was just like, we're running ideas of, like a flip, or maybe possibly a long-term, rental or whatever. So we kind of got the idea of just like, what could we put into a property where it's like, you're going to get the best return? Right. We were like, what could we possibly do? So then we started thinking duplex, and we were like, okay, we were looking at duplexes, but then we were like, well, why don't we try and build one or whatever? So then, we reached out to you, and the rest was history, basically. You found me this gem, we were super excited. It was something unreal.
Yeah, let's talk about the beauty of a house.
Okay. Let's talk about the first time you guys went there, and I get a crawl space video, and I'm up at work, you know what I mean? Like,
I remember like walking in the living room, and it's got like this distinct slope.
Oh man. What, built in what, 1920? Yeah, because it was 100 years old.
It was 100 years old right that year. I still just remember the smell, to be honest.
They always get it.
But then we're looking at it as like, okay, well, it is getting like rental income. It is rented right now, and it does possibly have the potential. So we're like, making these calls. You're talking with the builder, you're working with Connor. Like, Alicia was taking care of all this while I was at work, basically. And, going through my head, I mean, it's like, I don't know what I was thinking. Like, I mean, at the time, $295,000 was, I don't know, that's a pretty decent purchase. So I was like, wow, like, I don't know, sure, let's try it. So we go out on a limb there, and here we are.
It was also more so the land you were looking at, not the house, because you knew the house was going to be a tenant regardless, but the house had to be rentable for the time being.
Rentable. And then I think the other one thing was like, can I get insurance on this? What am I going to do here? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. So when did you realize, okay, now's the time, it's actually ready to be developed, like it's feasible, we're going to be going through with it? So you obviously kind of chat with the mortgage broker, or how'd you line up the financing and get all that figured out?
Yeah, so just going back and forth with the mortgage broker there, when it was ready to be, like, we had to get still like building permits and whatnot, so we had to wait for that time, demo permit. So in the meantime there, like, going back and forth with the broker, I had to get a home equity line of credit to purchase their house originally.
Right.
Then I ended up refinancing my house, pulling all the equity out of it, and then using that money for a down payment on the build and contingency.
Right, yeah. So for people that may not know, you originally got a line of credit on your house, so you had enough equity where then you could access the portion of equity that you didn't have access to before. Use that to then buy Evans, which was already paying for the mortgage there. So really the only risk was taking the initial money off there, but Evans was paying for the mortgage plus the interest probably on your loan.
Yeah, it was covered.
And then when it became time to develop now, okay, refinance, leave 20% equity obviously in your principal residence, and then take the rest of the equity and then get a builder's mortgage for Evans and go ahead and go from there.
Exactly, yeah. And then basically just lining up, getting all the permits and whatnot processed, because I didn't want to get all the financing and then, I was just waiting there for permits and whatnot. It was just kind of like a dead time or whatever. I wanted to be able to jump on it, and once all the permits were done and pulled.
Yeah.
So
did you have, I think what kind of triggered it initially was the tenant was moving out. Was it not the case?
Tenant was moving out. It was a perfect time. And the numbers just worked. Interest rates were unreal at the time. Yeah. And it just kind of fell into place. So
yeah. Okay, so my favorite part, you call me up and you're like, hey, now we want to make a video of this too. This is a lot of sweet things. So. But you all are like, hey, we got the permits, we're ready to go, we can tear this thing down, like, let's get some video of it.
Why wouldn't we?
Cut to the video. So you also did like a lot of work throughout, but how exciting was it to actually like break ground? Like, have you guys done any construction? Like, do your parents kind of?
No, this is fresh to us. Like, I have obviously a bit of just like a construction background. We're running equipment or whatever. Yeah. But like, finally after just with like little headaches of it being rented out and whatnot, of just like little things breaking down here and there and whatever, we're like, okay, finally let's flatten this place and get on with, a new build. So we got the demo going, and it was just like a sigh of relief, and then also stress of like, okay, now there's no money coming in. This build better go through, and hopefully it stays on budget and on time.
So as we know, construction rarely goes on time, on budget. Tell me a little bit about like the stresses of what happened throughout it. Like, it wasn't a smooth process, was it?
So basically, like, we would get kind of an update, every week. Right. And then, like, things would get delayed, or things would be out of stock, or, like discontinued or whatever, like little things. And, we would feel kind of, okay, is this like gonna actually come to light? Like, are we gonna get out of this like building stage? Because it felt like it was so long of this build, and it was nothing to do with the builder. It was just products, or things just not lining up, or weather, or things that you can't control. And I would get frustrated so much just being like, I want to see it get done. I would drive by it every day and just be like, hey, like, what's going on here? But and Matt was good. Like, he would always give me updates, and I would always talk to Alicia, and she'd just be like, calm down, like, it's getting built, everything's fine. But in my head, like, it needs to happen yesterday because I'm stressing about the next thing, whatever, or whatever is going to happen.
Come on it,
so
exactly.
It just was up and down of emotions, and just.
And they say getting a house built is one of the most stressful things to go through. Like, a lot of people end up in divorce, but you guys actually got engaged during that time. So like, you guys built a house before you even married and got engaged, and now you guys are still here and you got this.
Here we are. It brought us closer together,
A true test.
That was a test for sure.
You had to keep Matt a little level-headed there?
It was my full-time job for a bit.
Okay, so you're almost at the finish line, but like, what were all those little things just holding it back, and like, you couldn't get it done? Like, I remember just like, it was just one thing after another.
Yeah, no, it was definitely, to say the least, one thing after another. We had tenants lined up to move in. There was waiting for an occupancy permit. There was landscaping. There was cabinetry that was waiting, it was back ordered or something. And, people wanted to move in on the 1st. Now we're kind of pushing it back a week or two, and then, things would happen, and we had to get fences up.
All of the little things.
Yeah, all the little things add up that you don't think of.
Yeah.
You see a completion of the house and it being in a finished state. There's so many little odds and ends that just add up, and you're like, okay, now I got to get house insurance. And we're in a wildfire in Kamloops here, and it was just complete chaos.
Everywhere, yeah.
So I don't know, I was new, I've always been with the same insurance company, so I didn't think of anything. But luckily TD was able to pull through, but I had called every single company, and I think I reached out to you and I was like, hey man, I cannot get insurance on here. What do I do?
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, hit up TD. And I was like, overnight done.
Our homies.
So yeah, they hooked it up. But at the end of the day, I couldn't get renters in because I didn't have the occupancy permit, and landscaping had to be wrapped up, cabinets were backed up, and then appliances were, it was just all that came to one final deadline, and it was just the pressure was on.
Right?
Yeah.
I remember just seeing you guys on Instagram and you're painting on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Yeah.
You guys also work a ton, both of you guys.
Yeah, totally.
So it wasn't you guys were this wasn't your full-time job, but you guys worked a full-time job and then still had to deal with all this.
Totally, yeah.
It was hot, it was smoky.
Oh,
we
yeah.
were so angry.
I get a day off and I'm like, hey babe, do you want to go work on the house? No, she wasn't into it. She's working, I'm working, but hey,
we gotta go do it.
We got it, yeah. And our family, our parents helped out a lot. My parents, her parents.
Nice, that's awesome. It wasn't just cutting a check.
Oh, it wasn't just I think, coming down to the end made me realize it was this is pretty chill. Stress you get, with the build. But then at the end, you're
you don't think of all the small things that need to be completed.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Yeah, it's funny the hindsight of going through it. You're in the moment, those are so everything that's happening every day is so much more of a big deal, and it's I just want this to be done. And it's so much anger, and then looking back, you're it wasn't really that bad.
And
now
let's
we're
do it
already
again.
talking hey, what are we doing next?
What's the next plan? Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk numbers. How about that? So you got the construction mortgage, but one of the other really smart things that you guys got done was you got that rate guaranteed for the end of construction for the actual mortgage you're going to have on the property. So you got a great rate. So what was the mortgage of the final payment?
Yeah, so we actually were able to secure an unreal interest rate. I think it was 3.5 or something.
Yeah.
Mortgage West hooked it up, and we secured that for 5 years, and the end mortgage with the utilities from the city and whatnot was I think it was $4,300.
Yeah.
So for the whole place, $4,300.
Which is crazy because you're paying almost that on your own house.
Yeah.
So what was the cost of everything? So we got the mortgage. How much did it cost you from the lot and all that? So you're probably into it for $1.05 million for everything there.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you also got the appraised value, and here's really where you got a lot of the juice of it was you already had the down payment, but and you got a low mortgage rate, but the appraised value, what'd that come in around?
So the appraisal came in just roughly under 1.5.
Right.
So that was good numbers. Right. We were happy with that. It was great to see, just it kind of coming together.
Yeah, that you're not blowing a bunch of money.
Yeah, it could have been a complete flop because who knew 3 years ago what was going to happen, right?
Right, yeah.
So
it cost you $1.04 million, but you're appraised at 1.5. Your mortgage is $4,300. Tell me about how much you're renting all the suites for now and what your cash flow is. So this is really where you've already made the money on the house. You made some profit. You could sell it, but really now you got this asset that's going to be able to pay you how much?
Yeah, so we're renting out the top with utilities for $2,900. Nice. So 2 tops, and then the bottoms for $1,650 with utilities. So it's 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms upstairs, the double bay garage, and then 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom downstairs, all separate laundry. And you got a dishwasher, and if anyone needs a spot to stay, Kamloops, hit me up.
This could be yours.
Yeah.
So $9,100 a month gross revenue. So paying the mortgage and all that, you're getting a healthy chunk of cash flow there. Looking back, obviously, worth the risk. What advice would you have for other people that want to do the same thing? Like, you obviously came from no knowledge of how to do this to talking to lots of people and figuring it out. So what advice would you have now?
We were, new to this, and we just got inspo from like watching fucking HGTV or you see people doing it or on Instagram or fucking the internet, and you're like, buddy, I want to do that. I want to make money. I want to be famous and rich, and I want houses. I don't know, but like that's the end goal. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, you just got to figure it out and go from there. 3
years ago, I don't think that we could see this happening, but we learned a lot of patience. That's the biggest thing I'd say. Don't overpromise things and always expect it to take longer than what it is, and really have a good solid group of people that are willing to help you out with most likely no reward for themselves right off the bat, because it's a lot of sweat, blood, tears, and you just have to have a lot of good people in your corner.
Okay, so would you guys do this again? Is this something you're enjoying?
Absolutely.
Totally. I find it so right in my interest of like, I love the hunt of finding the property. I love it's getting built. I love that aspect of it where it's like, I don't see myself not ever doing that. Like, it's what I want to shift into. And, I'd love to, get a team going, which we have started here. And just grow from it. If we could have one, in a purchase stage, one's built and one's a sell, or, one's we keep some, rent some, just the steadiness of always having something on the go and one shifting after the next of, okay, this one's ready for sale. Well, this one's ready in building stage. We're buying here. Obviously to grow to that stage would be unreal, but got to go to that 95 every day and just keep working for it, I guess.
That's where we're headed. So next steps, like, what are we doing? Like, we're looking for a lot?
I mean, land, a house to demo, a big corner lot, a juicy corner lot with a shitty house on it. Like, come on, that fires me up. We just recently went out and started door knocking. That was cool. Just dropping letters off. No one replies. Anyone seen those letters, please hit me up. Like, we would love to purchase, but
we're the real deal.
I'm serious. I'm right here. He's there. Like, let's do this. If we could secure some land, obviously, there's hundreds of other people doing it. But hey, if you want to partner, hit us up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we just want to keep acquiring land and keep building, make this a steady income. And
I love it. So we're looking for people to partner with. This is obviously a hugely successful project. Like, you guys really knocked it out of the park, and I think you guys working together as a team is just awesome. And all the people that you really selected as trades and trusted on and relied on, you got the winning formula. So now it's just, hey, how can we repeat that and keep it going?
Exactly. And there's definitely things that we can tighten up. We learned a lot of things to plan better, and time is money. That was the biggest thing.
Right.
I know you hear that a lot and whatever, but like, it is. Time will kill money. So it's just like, get it done as quick as you can. And snip up and don't cut corners, but do it properly and get everything planning and do your best.
There you go. So what do you think? We've taken you on the whole journey from start to finish of how we took this undervalued property and took it to its highest and best use, now producing a bunch of income. If you're interested in similar opportunities, I'm happy to help you find properties that are zoned correctly and take them all the way to the finish. Or if you're looking for a more hands-off approach, me and Matt would love to partner with you and show you a hands-off investment strategy and get something like this into your portfolio. If you're interested, reach out to me, Connor Shelton at the Collective Kamloops Real Estate Team. Thanks again.